They're happy for you. That's what you told yourself when they went quiet after your promotion, when they changed the subject the moment your relationship started going well, when they gave you that smile, the one that reached their mouth but stopped just short of their eyes. You convinced yourself you were imagining it, that you were being paranoid, that good people don't think like that about the people around them. But psychology is telling you something you've been avoiding for a long time. You weren't imagining anything. You were reading it correctly, and the reason it confused you is because jealousy, real jealousy, almost never announces itself. It hides behind concern. It disguises itself as support. It wraps itself in the language of care while doing everything it can to quietly hold you back. This video isn't about making you paranoid. It's about making you perceptive. Because here's what most people don't understand about jealousy. It isn't always the dramatic kind. It isn't someone openly rooting against you or celebrating when you fail. Most jealousy is subtle, most jealousy is silent, and the most dangerous kind, it comes from people who genuinely believe they want the best for you, while every behavior they have says otherwise. The first sign, and this one is easy to miss, is that they diminish your wins. Not by ignoring them, by reframing them. That's great, but wasn't part of that just timing? Or, good, but don't let it go to your head. Or they pivot immediately to their own story so that your win becomes the runway for their monologue. Psychologists call this minimization. And it's not accidental. It's a psychological reflex, the mind's way of protecting the ego from the discomfort of someone else's success. They don't think they're doing it, but they are. Every single time. The second sign is that they compete with you, but secretly. You're not having a competition. You never agreed to one. But they're keeping score. If you mention your salary, they mention theirs. If you buy something new, they buy something newer. If your relationship is going well, suddenly theirs is perfect. Every piece of your life becomes a category for comparison, and they always need to land just slightly ahead of you. This is what researchers call social comparison theory, first developed by psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954. We all compare ourselves to others. It's human, but for someone in the grip of jealousy, that comparison never stops. You are the measuring stick they can never put down. The third sign is that they give you bad advice. This is the one that cuts deepest, because it's hidden inside the appearance of care. You're about to take a leap, a new job, a new business, a relationship you're excited about, and they come to you with concern in their voice and doubt in their words. Are you sure that's a good idea? I just don't want you to get hurt. They tell you about the risks. They highlight the odds. They remind you of the last time something didn't work out, and they do it all under the banner of being a good friend. But watch what happens when someone else takes that same leap. When a mutual friend launches a business or moves abroad or makes a bold choice, suddenly they're supportive, full of enthusiasm. The risk calculator they activated for you is nowhere to be found. The inconsistency is the data. It's not that they're risk-averse, it's that they're specifically averse to your success. The fourth sign, and this one is psychological gold, is that they can't hold eye contact when you're winning. The human face is extraordinarily hard to control. We can manage our words, we can rehearse our reactions, but micro-expressions, those flickers that last less than a quarter of a second, slip through before the conscious mind can catch them. When you share good news with someone who is secretly jealous, watch their face in the first 2 seconds. Before the "oh wow, that's amazing" arrives, because in that window, the truth comes through, a flash of tension, a flicker of something that doesn't look like joy, an almost imperceptible tightening around the eyes. Researcher Paul Ekman spent decades studying this. The face he found tells a story that the voice works very hard to overwrite. You don't need to be an expert to feel it. You felt it. That strange dissonance when someone says the right words but something doesn't add up. Trust that feeling. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. The fifth sign is that they talk about you differently when you're not in the room. You find out indirectly. Someone mentions a comment, a mutual friend looks uncomfortable when your name comes up, or the story you told in confidence shows up somewhere it shouldn't have. Jealous people need an audience for their feelings, and since they can't say what they actually feel, I resent how well things are going for them, it comes out sideways, as gossip, as concern, as I just think they're changing. They reframe your confidence as arrogance, your ambition as self-absorption, your success as luck. It's not about you, it's about what you represent to them. You are the living proof that the life they want is possible, and that proof is unbearable without an outlet. The sixth sign is the one that explains all the others. They pull back right when things get good for you, not when you're struggling. Anyone can be present for the hard times. There's no threat in someone else's pain. But when your career takes off, when your relationship deepens, when you hit a milestone that used to feel impossible, that's when the text gets shorter. The invitations slow down. The energy shifts. Because closeness to someone who is thriving is expensive for a person who is still waiting for their own life to begin. And rather than examine that feeling, it's easier to create distance. Psychologists call this proximity withdrawal. And it leaves you confused because you haven't done anything wrong. You didn't change. You just started winning. And winning, it turns out, is threatening to people who haven't decided to yet. Now here's what I need you to understand. None of this means these people are evil. Jealousy is one of the most human emotions that exists. It's built into us. It's the mind's alarm system for perceived inequity. A warning that says, someone else is ahead and I'm not sure I can catch up. But understanding where it comes from doesn't mean you have to keep absorbing it. The most important thing you can do is this. Stop performing your success for rooms that punish it. Stop explaining your wins to people who will always find a way to shrink them. Stop trying to make comfortable the people who are most threatened by your growth. Because here's the truth, that jealousy is actually telling you you have something worth wanting. You are moving in a direction that other people wish they were moving. You are building something, becoming something. And the discomfort that creates in certain people is not your problem to manage. It's data about the gap between where you are and where they thought you'd stay. Protect your energy. Protect your momentum. Build your table with people who can genuinely celebrate someone else's win. Because those are the only people who will know how to celebrate yours. The signs were always there. You just needed permission to trust what you saw. If this video opened your eyes to something you've been feeling but couldn't name, hit subscribe because this channel exists for exactly that. And drop in the comments, which of these signs hit closest to home? I read every single one,